Hey guys, Micah here with TactiCalifornia. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today we are asking the question, should you vote? And if you do vote, who should you vote for in this presidential election in 2016? Let's go ahead and dive right into this. All right, the 3 points we're going to talk about today, guys. 1, the platform candidates are running on. 2, the Supreme Court and who gets to appoint Supreme Court justices. And 3, a third-party vote is a throwaway vote. So let's go ahead and dive into point 1. So what platform somebody's running on is actually really important. We need to consider exactly what it is that a candidate stands for before we vote for that candidate. Now, people can say things, right? Trump has said things. Hillary has said things. And this has been a constant issue that I've seen. But one thing I really enjoyed about, I had the opportunity to hear Senator Ted Cruz's father, Rafael Cruz, speak. And one thing that really resonated with me when he spoke was, he said, never look at what a candidate says they're going to do. Just don't do that. Instead, look at what they have done and look at the platform they stand for. That's going to tell you a lot more about that candidate and what they're going to do in office should they be elected. So the platform, right? So Hillary runs obviously for the Democratic platform. There's no argument there. That is a fact. That platform is pro-gay marriage, pro-choice, borderline pro-legalizing weed. They're anti-military at times. In fact, the Democratic Party, factually, this is not an opinion, factually is becoming more and more socialist every day. Everyone should have equality. Nobody should have to work hard. And if you work hard, then your money should be taken from you and given to other people who don't work as hard. That is honestly what the Democratic Party is turning into. The Republican Party, on the other hand, is pro-life. They are pro-Second Amendment. And I honestly align myself with those views far more than the Democratic Party or even the Independent Party. If you're watching this channel, you are probably pro-Second Amendment. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat. I do appreciate you watching and your subscription and your views and likes. I really appreciate that, guys. If you happen to be on the other side of the aisle, if you're a Democrat, vote with your Second Amendment gut. What I mean by that is there is stuff going down. Hillary is far anti-gun. She has said that she will move to eradicate the Second Amendment. Look that up. She has actually made efforts to get rid of our Second Amendment in our Constitution. And she will work towards that, again, due to special interest groups. So we need to make absolutely sure that Hillary does not get elected if you like firearms and enjoy having firearms. The Republican Party is pro-Second Amendment, and that is very important. It's often said here in our community, and I completely agree with it, that you can't have the First Amendment without the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is what gives all the other amendments teeth. You have to be able to defend your rights legally in your nation from your government who will ultimately try to take away your rights at some point. That's a fact. If you look at history, it's clearly evident. Corruption occurs. Government will attempt to rob the people of more and more rights and force more and more burdens and taxes on them. That is history. There's no way around it. And America, unfortunately, is no different. So I like that we have the Second Amendment and the fact that the Republican Party stands strong, saying that the Second Amendment is important and we do need to defend it. That is a huge critical point and really going to steer me towards whichever candidate because that's so valuable to me. Fiscal responsibility is another keystone of the Republican Party. We have currently trillions and trillions of dollars in debt as a nation. That is unacceptable. And the Republican Party stands on a position in which it wants to lower taxes and reduce the overall debt that the United States is in. That is something I can definitely get behind. In fact, I'm a little confused as to how people can vote against that concept, fiscal responsibility. I know you want more government programs. I know you want more handouts. And I get that. But I just don't understand where you think the money's coming from. But I digress. The Republican Party has that, and that's something that's huge for me, which again is why I would vote for a Republican candidate. Another thing that's really important to me is strong borders. You can't talk Donald Trump without talking strong borders because it's obvious he really wants to reduce the amount of immigration coming into the United States and build strong walls and borders to prevent illegal immigration. While I think part of what makes America great is the amount of diversity and multiculturalism, the danger is if you don't close or reduce the amount of people coming in, and you don't give them time to assimilate, right? So to become part of the nation and to become a part of what America is, what happens is you start to see subsets of groups instead of one nation. So now you got a Muslim community, you've got a Hispanic community, you've got an Asian community, and these communities don't really interact with each other in healthy ways. Part of what I honestly think is to blame for we see this, racism here in America. This partly to blame is the fact that our borders are wide open and so many immigrants are coming in and we're not letting them assimilate and become part of our community before we let more in. Point number 2, the Supreme Court. Whoever gets elected this year in November 2016 will have the tremendous opportunity and burden to elect several justices to the Supreme Court, which will be monumental in many decisions here in the United States. Now, Donald Trump has named 11 nominees he would like to see in the Supreme Court. And to be quite honest, all of them are strong constitutionalists. What this means is that they're going to handle Second Amendment the way I want to see the Second Amendment handled. The First Amendment is going to be protected. All of our Bill of Rights as well as our Constitution, they're going to take a firm foundation in what made America great, and they're going to stand firm in that place. I really need that in Supreme Court justices, because if we get people who are bought by special interests and all of a sudden they're making corrupt decisions up in the Supreme Court, we could have monumental devastation here in the United States when it comes to our laws and how things are interpreted. Now, I'm not going to sit here and list all the bad stuff Hillary Clinton's done. I don't have a big enough SD card to store all that. Rather, what I will say is Hillary Clinton's intentions are bought and paid for. Whatever she wants to do, people have given her money to make sure that she does what they want her to do, okay? So make no mistake about it. Where the money, just follow the money with Hillary and you'll instantly see how she's going to elect people, okay? And the nominees she has named for Supreme Court, should she be the one who's president and elect those officials, they are all progressivists. They are all, they want to push the United States in a direction that is dangerous and far from our Constitution. The Supreme Court is where a lot of decisions are made. And not only that, but where laws have been interpreted and reinterpreted, okay? What's dangerous here, again, let's just talk solely on the Second Amendment. We could talk about First Amendment for days. I am a Christian. Religious liberty is huge to me. Even if you're not a believer, honestly, religious liberty is a huge milestone for America and what makes America great. Really consider religious liberty as a very valuable thing. But regardless, the Second Amendment alone, okay, all Hillary has to do if she elects the proper Supreme Court justices is have them say that the Supreme Court only applies to a militia. And all of a sudden, you having guns is invalid. You don't have a constitutional right to own guns. It's that simple. Point number 3, a third-party vote is a throwaway vote. In case you guys don't know, there are 2 gentlemen running for office besides Hillary and Trump, and that is Johnson and Weld. These guys have some impressive points, some bullet points that they like to bring up about their fiscal responsibility and reducing taxes and all that kind of stuff, and it sounds great. And to be quite honest, if they had a shot, I might take a little closer look at them, but they don't. If you go to their website, they are currently polling at 13%. There's no way they will become the president and vice president of the United States of America. If Donald Trump and Hillary both drop dead, I still don't think these guys would have a chance. So you're throwing away your vote there. As we talked about in point 1, we look at the platform that the person is running on, because the platform really does dictate a lot of what that candidate will or will not do in office. Well, Johnson and Weld are running on a platform that is pro-legalizing weed, pro-choice, and many other things that I morally and honestly disagree with. I do not think marijuana should be legalized in the United States. I know that's different from a lot of you, and that's cool. We can have healthy discussions in the comment section below if you'd like to have those conversations. But the fact remains, those are values that I have that I disagree with his platform. Therefore, I will not be voting for him. The reality is, both major candidates, Trump and Hillary, have degenerative pasts. There's no doubt about it. Everything that has come up in recent events and news and all of Hillary Clinton's time as Secretary of State and Donald Trump's womanizing and supposed racism and all this kind of stuff, all of that is bad, right? But the reality is one of them will be the next president of the United States, okay? You are going to be stuck with one of these two people. So you have to ask yourself the question, is voting third party worth it? Don't throw away your vote. These Supreme Court justices, the platforms they're running on, these things are vital to America's success or failure as a nation. We need to turn things around with our economy. We need to make sure that our amendments, both first, second, and all the way down, are completely protected. We need to vote for Donald Trump in 2016. If you like this video, please click like down below and subscribe to the channel for more gun news and gun reviews we have coming your way. I'm Micah with TactiCalifornia. Thanks for watching.